This conference will now be recorded.
Okay.
Let's see who caller one is.
Caller one, call in, please. Identify yourself. Somebody on the phone, just on the phone with a call in? Hello.
Yes, this is Nancy Lombard.
Okay. Thank you, Nancy. Just want to make sure when we see people on the call, we just want to make sure who they are. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right, so let's call to order. It's 6:01. Everybody, I hope everybody is enjoying the darkness as you get out of work or you're home. At 4:30, it's pitch dark, getting pitch dark. I do not enjoy it at all, but some people actually like the fall. I'm not going to editorialize on how much I dislike fall, but we'll leave that go. I hope everybody had a good summer. We are going to be looking at a couple things on the agenda tonight, and we'll start off with the approval of the minutes. Minutes were sent out. Thank you, Aileen. Can I get a motion to accept? Karen, accept. Can I get a second? Sing out for a second because I'm only seeing 6 of us here. Okay, Sandra, second. Any discussion on the minutes? Any more discussion? Nope. Then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain. Great. Let's go to Miss Kelly for our report.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Not much new going on, but so I'll breeze through some of this. And just interrupt me if there are any questions. Tree City USA, no update on that. That's due in the application's due in January, so I'm going to start working on that probably in the next couple of weeks. But nothing new on that currently. I guess following up on that, I did just submit a grant application for $37,000 worth of trees to DEP as part of the beautiful grant. So we'll have to get that. We'll hear back probably. That's that. Moving on to
Liz, I'm having trouble hearing you.
You are? Everyone is?
No, you're a little muffled, that's all.
There's a lot of feedback too. It's like breaking up.
Something, hey guys, do me a favor. If everybody can mute while Kelly's talking, that may help out. Try that.
Can you guys hear me okay now? Okay. I'll just keep my camera off. I don't know if that's what's causing it either. All right, moving on to the open space grant update. We were successful in getting the 2017 grant award split. DEEP has awarded us some funds for the acquisition of several parcels up off of Beaver Dam Road.
That's great.
Yep, really excited for that. Huge shout out to Joe Gresco. He really helped with that. DEEP was denying everything initially, and Joe really pushed on them and reminded them why they were doing this. So really excited about that. So we're going to be moving forward on that shortly. We were just told, I think, last week about that. And what else? Oh, things are also moving forward on the potential acquisition of Fresh Pond through a donation. We're still waiting to hear back on how the appraisal works out for the current property owner and how it affects their taxes, etc. But things are moving forward, so that's really exciting.
So Kelly, a quick question on the grant.
Correct.
That
Yep.
you just spoke about that was split. Can you tell me how that was split? Like, is it by two properties?
It's split by, I want to, off the top of my head, I think that there's, I want to say 3 or 4 parcels that we'll be acquiring that we can move forward on now, those Beaver Dam parcels, but there are 2 other parcels off of James Farm Road, and that's what the split was. The split was between the Beaver Dam parcels and the James Farm Road parcels. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it just doesn't involve the North Peters property.
Oh, no, no, but that North Peters property was part of that 2017 grant, but that's what we split off of because it's that parcel stuck with another James Farm Road parcel in litigation right now, so we can't move forward on it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions on the grant or trees? No? Okay. Waterfront access points. now that Megan has finished our unified water sampling for the year, I guess I should have added this in there too. She is working on transferring the pamphlet style that she made onto our website so that Dave Wright can upload that. And she's also working on figuring out the QR code. We found a generator, so that should be relatively simple. But the unified water sampling has a lot of data input, so it took quite some time, but she's wrapping that up now. So waterfront access will be her next priority. Just in time for winter. Man. Any questions on waterfront access? No. All right.
Yeah, it came out really well.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll update you when we get that on the website, as soon as we get that together, but we'll have you all proof it first. I'm not going to just throw it up there without you seeing it.
Good idea.
And then, okay, moving on to Brownfields update. Nothing's really moving on anything. We're still moving forward, I guess, in getting contract plating out to market. I'm not sure exactly where that stands, but Mary Dean's kind of leading that charge because that's more in her wheelhouse. But that should be going on the market sometime next week or so. And other than that, we don't have any other updates on any of the other parcels.
Good. Karen has a question?
Actually, it's a comment. There's a tremendous amount of feedback, Kelly, and it's really hard to understand you. And I'm not sure if it's coming from your site or everybody else's, but if everybody can mute, it might be the phone call, who knows? But if you can mute while Kelly's talking, it would be really helpful. I hope.
I should be able to mute. I'm going to mute everyone. All right, everyone's muted right now. Are you guys? Oh wait, you're not muted. Hold on. Oh yeah, you're muted. Okay. Can you give me a thumbs up if I'm clear now? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. All right. I'll unmute you after I'm done. All right. So Brownfields update. So like I said, there's not much movement on. You guys can't hear me again? No. Okay. I'm just gonna keep talking. Not much movement on most of our parcels right now. They're all kind of in different modes, if you will. Like I said, contract plating is getting on the market. Mercer Coal is getting on the market as well, but not quite up yet. And no other updates there. Any other questions on Brownfields? Click on mute. No one looks like it. Okay. Peters Lane Subdivision. I don't have quite much of an update on this. I heard from the attorney right after the Inland Wetlands Commission denied the application that they were planning on appealing, but I have not seen anything yet. So that's kind of out there. But I guess I will add another large subdivision under this for our next meeting, and that's the Teakwood Subdivision. That hasn't really come before the commission yet. A lot of information, so we haven't even discussed it yet. But once that gets on the agenda and it looks like we'll be able to accept it, I'll keep you guys updated on that. Are you guys having trouble hearing me again? Yes, you are. Do you want me to call in on my phone? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
What did I want to say? The North Peters appeal had a time limit according to the lawyers, so I think they had 20 days.
Okay, yeah, it may be filed with the attorney's office and they haven't gotten to me yet. So I'll have to check in with Pat Sullivan, who's our inland wetlands attorney that we use. But she hasn't notified me of any need for anything yet. And that's all I have on Peters Lane.
So like the Teakwood property, I just had some information from some residents that live on Emerald Place that there was, during a big rainstorm, there was a huge mudslide kind of from the foot of Ocean View Terrace down into the UI property that's there. It's the top of the hill. Do you know anything about that? Or if that's a UI issue or a town issue or the property owner issue?
I mean, that's all private property, so I guess it would be a private property issue, but we also do monitor high erosion areas for our stormwater permit. So if a big erosive event like that occurred, that would be good to know. And it was on the Teakwood property, on that 10-acre parcel?
So it was actually the neighbor that lives at 330 Emerald Place that it came into her backyard. it all slid down from like the foot of Ocean View Terrace through that vacant property where the power lines go through and like through her yard.
Okay. I'll look
So
into that and talk to the property owner as well.
yeah, so her name is Joyce Perugini.
Okay.
Good chocolates.
So she's a nice lady, and I was really shocked to hear that I hadn't heard of that happening before. But every time I look at that, their backyards, I wonder about that. I wonder why it hasn't happened more often. Which
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to the property owner for that development and ask them what's going on. But I did recommend that the Inland Wetlands Commission do get out there for a site walk. I think that'd be really important on this property. So
it's absolutely important. Yes.
yeah, but we haven't gotten even to the point where we can even accept the application. So
Right.
so when we get there.
Are they on the agenda for what, next week?
No.
They're not.
I mean, they'll be on the agenda, but it's going to get tabled again because they haven't submitted. They're so deficient with what they've submitted that we can't even talk about it yet.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Anyways, I'll look into this mudslide though. That is very good to know. Thank you. But I am going to add Teakwood into this slot for Peters Lane, since those are our two kind of largest subdivisions.
Yeah, that would be great because the neighbors are already rallying down there, and they're looking for
Like
critters.
Teakwood, Glen.
Yeah, they got bobcat walking through their backyard from that property. They've got deer, they got coyote, they got everything. It's really a pathway for nature that goes down through the power lines through that property to move its way down toward into Remington Woods. So,
No, definitely a great wildlife corridor. I agree.
not to mention the water site. So, okay, cool. Yeah, I think that would be great if you could add that to the.
Yep, definitely.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
All right, moving on to the Bruce Brook Watershed-based plan. Nothing has happened yet with this. I don't know I don't remember if we were awarded last month or not, but we were awarded $115,000 to prepare this plan, and we are working on getting the work plan squared away with DEEP and all the contractual nonsense squared away, and then we can begin work on it. So no new updates on that, but I just want to leave that on there since that's going to be in front of us for the next year or so. And then lastly is a new item. Dave Chess is a member of the Inland Wetlands Commission, and he brought up the idea for a Conservation Commission to potentially spearhead either a subcommittee or something of that nature to get together a native planting list that inland wetlands and other land use boards can use and give out to developers that we would recommend just native plants instead of non-natives, etc., for various developments. So I wasn't sure if that's something you guys want to entertain, because I know a lot of times we get in, and I'm always asking them for alternatives. We don't have a really good list for that.
Well, I think that'd be a good thing to do. Yes, I think we should do. I think Cassandra probably has a list already. I know that list is not very difficult to put together because a lot of groups are already putting together native plant lists. So I don't see this being a very difficult thing to do. I would just say that it should probably be a list of native plantings and then a list of non-native invasive plantings. You should have the pro and the cons. You should have the list that says not to plant these. Yeah, we don't want these planted, and here's the plants that you want to plant. So I would make it a dual program, not just one. Karen?
I believe the cooperative extension station has those lists already for Connecticut. We can check on their site and see if we can just pick them up from there.
Yeah, the idea here is not to do reinvent the wheel. Again, people have already done this, and I think what we have to do is compile it and then make it into if we're doing it the right way, what it should be is you have the stuff you should not be planting, the stuff you should be planting, and where you can find those plants. So that would be the third partial part of this process would be where can you obtain these plants, and maybe have a list of distributors. And again, Cassandra probably has all that, but there's things like Planter's Choice that you can get native plants up there, and that's kind of the ones that specialize in that. Cassandra, any comment?
I'm sorry, I just have my video and my mute because I thought it would help situations. But yeah, totally. I'll get up with Kelly individually and make it easy. I'm already on the Ag Station website. They have a couple things that are available. So like you said, don't reinvent the wheel. And I think it's a really good idea too to put stuff on there like that are knots, or if that is on the property, we suggest removing and replacing with ... You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I could put the video back on. I just thought it was.
That's okay.
Maybe.
All right, yeah, I think so. Kelly, I think you're hearing that. Yeah, we definitely want to work on this. This would be a great project for us to do. Karen, is Kelly still with us?
Yeah, it looks like it. There's a booklet that Conservation put out many years ago that it's an introductory guide to Stratford's natural environs. And I don't know if we would want to possibly republish it or review it and update it and put the plantings in there.
Yeah, you could create a new edition.
It's a really nice,
No sense of
I have that.
talks about different areas in town, hunting, whether it's allowed. It talks about Short Beach, Long Beach, Roosevelt Forest, rare birds, the river, what kind of fish we have in the area, things like that. And I mean, it's this was my dad's, and I don't know when he got it, but he had it for many, many years. And
I think it's got Bill's baby picture in there.
Yeah, maybe. But it's a very nice.
It's from. That's Joe. When's it from?
And it might be worth. Yeah, Bill might remember it, but it might be worth resurrecting and having available to the public.
Yeah, I think that's a nice an additional document probably for that. I think, but I think the pamphlet we're looking at would probably be something that, again, developers can be given to when they come in the wetlands, right? They're handed this and saying, here, if you're going to be, reclaiming and doing some work on this land, here's the conservation and inland wetlands guide to what you should not plant, what you should plant. I think that and this document would just be something that we could have as a backup for it. I think that'd be a perfect thing.
It was published April 1990.
Oh, geez.
Time for a new edition.
Yeah,
it's time for 20 years old.
Some of Dave Colleen's artwork is in here.
That's cool.
That's I don't know if you can see it, but that's Dave Colleen. So that's one thing that he did.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
All right, so Kelly, what are you looking for us from this? Just as an okay to move forward? Kelly, is Kelly still with us? She is there. Kelly, you still?
I'm gonna text her.
Kelly, you gone? Oh, I'm talking, but it's not working, she says. Wow, it's all gone down.
What'd you say?
I'm going to call in. She's going to call in, everybody, if you're not seeing that. We'll give you a sec, Kel. You're muted again, Karen.
Caller number 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got caller number 2 on now. Sounds like a game show.
Oh, yeah, we need to know who they are.
Yeah, just for the minutes, we need to know who's on the phone. Caller 2, we know who caller 1 is. Now who's caller 2?
It's Joe Karipsky is on.
Hey, Joseph. Hey,
Hi,
there you go.
Yeah.
How you doing, Joseph? Okay. And Carrie again left. Kelly's left. She came and now she's gone again.
Guys, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Hey.
Yep.
All right, I'm on my phone.
Okay.
And you sound better.
You sound clear.
I don't know what's going on with my internet. Sorry about that.
And again, there was a Comcast problem today that went through the entire country. So I'm not sure if you're getting residual from that.
But anyways, getting back to the native planting list. I think it would be cool if you guys all have if you have different organizations that you want to look for on the internet, maybe that you trust and you want to look at their planting lists, and maybe if everyone wants to compile and email them to me, we can start to vet through different lists and see what we like for Stratford.
Yep.
Kelly. No, we still can't hear you.
Oh my God.
Really? I can hear Kelly.
We hear her.
I hear her
policy
fine.
perfectly.
Sorry.
You can't hear?
So weird.
That's weird. Why am I hearing her perfectly clear and Cassandra not hearing at all?
I don't know. So Greg, can you reiterate what I just said then? Or, I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, I do it, Kelly. Yeah, can anybody hear Kelly?
Yeah, I can hear okay now.
Okay, now you can. Okay. So what I was saying was that if everyone wants to go look at their favorite societies or organizations and start sending me lists that you really like, we can start to try to compile them and see what we like about some lists, what we don't like, and what we want to glean from them.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should put just a little plan together, what you're looking for, and then we just fill in the blanks.
Okay.
And if everybody does this like we did for the waterfront access point, we'll get a nice little document put together. And I think that'd be a very good, useful tool for in the wetlands and for us to say, here's what we should be planting in our even developments should be getting it. Bamboo, a lot of bamboo. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Do you want to try for like a January or February timeline?
Yeah, I would. Kelly, can you hear us?
Yeah, that works for me.
I would think January, February at the latest, because if we'd like to get it in the hands of people who could be using it for the planting season coming up for 22, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, I like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Anything else for Kelly? Anything out? Yeah. All right, so we'll go to old business. Kelly mentioned a few minutes ago that we're going to be having a meeting next week. It is next week, right? With Audubon and Deep about Long Beach. I think it's a Zoom meeting, but there's some issues that they want to talk about for the next bird season down at the beaches, and we have a couple things like kite surfing and coastal rodents. I love that. You really up their thing, coastal rodents.
It sounds distinguished.
Instead of just beach rats. I thought beach rats would have been more appropriate for it. But
oh, this is more encompassing.
But coastal road, yeah, it is a little more encompassing. So do we want to just quickly talk about the kite surfing, Kel?
Yeah, I guess I just want to see what was, I know we've talked about it a few times, but what direction do you think the commission wants to go, if any at all, on this action?
Karen?
I've been down Long Beach an average of 4 times a week for the last couple of months. And since we initially brought the kite surfing up, it has gone away. I mean, I don't know about on the weekends, but I'm talking, during the week. I'm at there midday.
I go if it's a certain wind.
Right. Yeah, kite surfing is an interesting problem. And it's a problem, and it's also not. Usually, what they'll do is it's got to be an onshore breeze. They want high tide and an onshore breeze. So really, when they're trying to get out there and do this, it's unless they're going into the marsh, then definitely they have to have high tide and the right wind. I think Kelly, you had mentioned this to me, and I can't remember where this came up. It's in my brain that this could be a non-issue because of FAA. Am I remembering that correctly?
I'm not sure. I don't think I recall that.
It did come in some place. It came into my head that kite surfing, along with the airport and the work they were doing at the airport, kite surfing may not be something that could even happen there if with FAA rules and regulations.
The airport wants to extend their safety. And if they get their way with doing that, we can't do anything on Short Beach in particular.
Long Beach.
I'm talking about Short Beach, the way the airport, they kite surf on Short Beach as well, right?
Yeah.
So the short beach would probably have no kite flying, no drones, no kite surfing, because of that extended safety zone. They will, get this, they will allow us to continue to operate Nikki's Beach House restaurant. That's how crazy this is. So that's just something that was in the works. I'm not sure. It's the airport commission that's having these discussions.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how far along that is, or if Stratford is fighting it. But
I think the big issues we had on kite surfing, and that I'm not sure if it'll this, which Laura's talked about, will go over to Long Beach.
we may have no choice.
Because Long
with
Beach,
Short It may be a non-issue at Short Beach. I'm not sure about Long Beach.
yeah, Long Beach is not really a bird. You know, there's some birds that go over there, but it's not a big nesting area, so it probably would not be as big an issue. But Long Beach, when we had mentioned it before, I'll just kind of rack my brain through, is that there is the runway there, so there is the same potential there, because where the wind's blowing, that's where the planes are taking off the landing, and they could be using that runway that goes right over the beach. So that may be an issue. The second thing is that the kite flyers, they normally will do this in the shoulders of the season that I've seen them out there, and I know Joe maybe seen them out there more, but I've seen them again more when it's cold weather and the wind's blowing either from the again onshore, and I'm not sure what we can do about this as an ordinance, because that would really go to ordinance committee, and Laura would really have to be looking at this. My thought would be, and again, there's the other thing was that this was an unregulated activity, that somebody was actually having a business down there, and then, again, that's kind of out of our purview, but that should be brought up in any kind of discussion to determine what's going on. The guy was giving lessons, and he had, he was basically had a business running out of Long Beach. And then the third thing was if we wanted to, could you just have people who want to kite surf in the wintertime and the springtime, away from the bird nesting seasons, and limit it to, not being during the summer or spring and summer season. One of the things that was brought up from Deep and from Audubon is that a lot of municipalities banned kite surfing from the beaches, especially in the summertime, because you've got kids swimming and people out there, and if you got somebody out there really not knowing what they're doing, they're kind of a missile shooting along the shore that could cause some damage to somebody. So that was a safety issue more than, again, not in conservation realm, but more kind of a safety issue. So that's kind of what I remember about kite surfing. Kelly, I don't know if there's anything else you can add to that.
I think that was pretty much it for now. I guess the question was whether the commission wanted to recommend anything toward the ordinance committee, or wanted to study this any further by any of their actions. Just because I know Audubon's going to ask us if we can, if they're interested.
Now you're breaking up again.
You can bring it to the Long Beach. Is there a Long Beach commission? I think there is a Long Beach commission.
No, there's no Long Beach. Short Beach commission, no Long Beach commission. There really should be a beach commission, and should be one commission, but that's another story for another day. Yeah, Cal, I don't know if we, again, anybody have more discussion? Joseph, Joseph, either Joe or Joe Christie. I know you're down there a lot.
Yeah, Greg. Joe here.
Yep.
There's a sign at the entrance of Long Beach, and it has rules and regulations. And one of those, it specifies that kiteboarding kite surfing is restricted to the eastern end of the beach. Eastern end of the beach, by the park where the parking lot is, would be the area by the entrance. Where we're finding the kite surfers, the kiteboarders, is by the western end.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, right there and then it flies in the face of the ordinance.
Does anybody know why, Joe? Why is the eastern end? I'm just curious. Does anybody have any history on that?
Don't know.
Joanne?
No, don't know.
Joanne,
That should be looked into.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, again, if they were just told they can't go that kind of, for the birds, that's where the birds are. You know, that side of the beach, they're not really, there's not many, the western side is really where the nesting sites are mostly.
Right.
So I'm not sure
Beyond
why the eastern
Yeah.
side, why they don't go there. 'Cause the only reason I could think they don't go there is they've got to truck their equipment a little farther along from the parking lot across the, you know, where the dunes are over there to get to where
Yeah.
they're. That's only,
Yeah.
to me, it's just what's easier for them is to go right at the end of the parking lot and put them right on the beach there.
Yeah.
So,
And they've been doing it for a long time, so now it's just like traditional to them to keep doing it there. But checked out the sign, and whoever,
yeah,
you know,
okay. We'll take a look
whoever's
at that.
behind the sign. Yeah.
Is there a way to do it seasonally? Can we just?
I don't know. I mean, that goes back to ordinance. My gut feeling is that trying to ban it, especially like Joe just said, it's kind of, you know, people are going to. So again, unless we have somebody down there kicking these people out, and we know what, you know, getting enforcement is always an issue. To me, if we made it so it was a seasonal issue, to where it takes away the safety for the residents and people using the beach, along with the kiteboarders, and it gets away from the bird nesting seasons. I think it's a win-win, because again, these guys go out there with their wetsuits. This is not really unless you're down in the Caribbean, this is not really a warm weather program. But that's anecdotal, and because I really have only seen them on really windy days, really cold windy days, and that's normally in the winter time, fall and winter, and early spring. So, Kelly, do you want to take this to them? We'll take this to them next week and just see if they have any more information.
Yep, that sounds good. I want to look into this.
I don't see how we can make a recommendation. I think if we come in at a total ban of this process, I don't know if and no pun intended, I don't know if that'll fly because of the recreational components of Long Beach. But I think we definitely want to make sure that safety and bird conservation is really looked into. Joseph?
Yeah, I was thinking about it when the last time we brought it up, and I'm wondering if it was set up so that it's something like they have to go in to town hall and get a permit when they want to do this activity, so that when they get that permission to do it, they also get a sheet with information as to the various regulations. And this way, you're not really prohibiting it completely, but you're also regulating it because you come in and get the information.
I like that. That's a good idea, Joseph. I like that idea a lot. If there's permitting, that would make it again. They're on record. We know who's doing it. You can keep track of it. That would make a lot of sense. And I got a feeling what you just said kind of resonated to me, because they probably aren't there mostly in the summertime because they got to pay to get in, and they don't want to pay to get in. If they got to pay for their car to get in there to kite surf, and from what I understand, again, this is anecdotal information, that these are not Stratford residents. These are people coming from out of town. If they're coming from out of town, they don't want to pay an out of town fee to get into the beach, to kite surf. They'd rather do it for free, and they'll do it on the shoulders of season when there's nobody at the gate. So that could be another reason why we don't see them in the summertime. I know that Audubon would just like them outright banned. I think that Kelly, I'm maybe speaking out of turn here, but I'm pretty sure they would like an outright ban, and I'm not sure that's something that we could talk about, but I'm not sure that can happen.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. I'm not used to being on the phone now during these meetings.
You know what we're doing here? We're really pushing this to be an in-person meeting again.
No.
You really.
What I was saying though was that I think Audubon would like to see an outright ban, but I think if we can just show them progress, like we're attempting some different solutions, that they would be pleased with that as well.
Okay, so I like Joe's idea that they need to be registered. I like the idea that we do in the shoulder season, away from the crowds and away from the bird season. And what else do we say? There was one other thing.
Find out what the airport regulations are.
Yep. And Joe, what Joe just said, it's the eastern side of the beach, and I like to ask Audubon, what I know there was some nesting on the eastern side of the beach. I'm pretty sure there was netting up there, but I don't know if that is the prime location over there. But again, that's interesting to me because I wouldn't have ever thought that. See, Joe, I don't read the signs either.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right. Coastal rodents, AKA beach rats, AKA what else? We're gonna be putting out. Yeah, we're gonna be doing cobras out on the beach this spring to get the rat problem out. What was that?
Snakes on the beach.
It's the whatchamacallit, it's the old she swallowed the fly. Yeah, you ever heard that one? Yeah, we'll put dogs out on the beach, Joe, just to get rid of the rat. We'll put cats out on the beach to get rid of the rats. Then the dogs on the beach to get rid of the cats. Then the whatever that goes on the song. So Kelly, what do we want to talk about coastal rodents?
This is in the same vein as kiteboarding. I've been in contact with USDA APHIS on different control methods for this, and it looks like it's either going to be a poison of some sort that the rat will consume and then later die, or snap traps seem to be the two main methods they recommended so far. But we haven't really solidified any plans yet, and just kind of wanted to keep this on the agenda for when make a decision on what to do.
This sounds like a relatively, I wouldn't say simple because nothing's simple, but it sounds like a relatively easy thing that either you're going to trap or you're going to poison. But when you're trapping and poisoning on public property, with other things moving around, kids and pets and whatever else is out there, it's not as easy as it sounds. So it would really have to be done in a totally professional manner because just Joanne.
Yeah, we had a rat control program at Long Beach some years ago.
Yep, and the shore road too. Right?
Coordinated it with the agricultural experimental station. One of the problems, obviously, is you don't want to put out poisons that are going to affect other critters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you don't want to put out a poison where you have a poison rat, because the seagulls love dead rats. Right.
Yep.
So the program Stratford used back then was with a material called zinc phosphide, which is a single pill. Once the zinc phosphide, they ingest the zinc phosphide, it turns into phosgene, which is not transferable to a secondary critter. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, how do you put in a bait station? We used 4x4 sheets of plywood that we drove 2x4s in each corner down, so it was only about an inch or so between the plywood and the sand. Mm-hmm. Critters could crawl under it, and we had the bait station dead center on it.
Yep.
And the thing is, it's time consuming, and you have to pre-bait for one thing to get them to make it a bait station. But you got to be careful what kind of system you use when you do rodent control.
No, definitely, it's definitely not an easy. It's not an easy thing. It really, you want poisoned rats staggering around the beach. You don't want to get poisoned, picked up by animals that get other poison. I know there was a drug that we use that it gets into the gut and it basically explodes the gut on them. So it's not a poison that anything else can ingest, but still, it's got to be. It's really, from what I'm looking at, Kelly, here is it's really going to have to be done by a professional out there. It's got to be, and it's not just an exterminator, because you can get an exterminator, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody that's really sensitive to the environment.
Yeah, that's why I've been trying to go through USDA APHIS. because they're kind of leading the charge on new and upcoming technologies.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that they said they normally wouldn't take the lead on something like this, but because there's a federally listed species involved, that they think that they would be able to help us. So I'm still
Okay,
waiting.
well, good. That'd be great. What Laura's going to do is going to put on the budget, because we can't get anything else on the budget. We're going to put the Stratford rat catcher position up. No, rat catcher. We're going to be like the rat catcher. We go to Renaissance Fest. We just started the Renaissance Festival. Sure, probably had the rat catcher there too, so we just have to put the job right over there. Yeah, but I think the technology, Bill's way of doing it is the way to do it. The rats go under boards. They like to be hidden underneath there, away from the birds, and they eat stuff under it. So that would be. But again, putting them out there and maintaining them, it's really not going to be. It's going to have to be a professional job. Yeah. And then we're gonna have to look for a grant or something that's out there. So I would assume that that if you're saying that maybe APHIS would help us out with that, maybe they can also help us out get a grant for this.
Correct. So more to come.
More to come. Rats for everybody. Rats for everybody. All right. Okay. New business. Anything else in old business before I move on? No more old business. All right. Going once, going twice, 3 times. All right. New business. Can anybody have new business?
I just wanted to ask Kelly a question about the Longbrook Park tennis courts.
Sure.
And, I know that you have been out there. There's the person that's been chosen to do the tennis courts over there, take them down and rebuild them, and that it's going to involve removing 8 trees. And I think you were down there looking at the trees and assessing them. So can you tell me, are they like diseased trees, or are they, and I know you said that they were going to be replaced.
Correct. For the most part, I think there's like maybe one maple that wasn't doing so hot, but the rest of them are pretty nice, healthy, older oaks. But they're not really, they're just being removed because they're in the way of the redevelopment project. So.
And then what kind of trees were going to replace them?
We were planning on, so the tree replacement got, I think, taken out of the project, and now we're doing it separately just through our regular budget. But my plan was to replace them with double the quantity that we're removing, even though that's not exactly 1 for 1, with mostly oaks and maples.
Okay. Okay. And they were going to put the tennis courts pretty much in the same location?
Correct. There should be I don't know, have you seen the plan set? I have a version of a plan, but I don't know if it's the most recent.
The guy that's going to do it was at the meeting yesterday, but he didn't have any plans or anything, and I guess that's going to go forward with another committee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm very confused by that whole process that's going on.
Yeah. There were several at the meeting last night that were confused with that process, but it will go to public hearing and we'll see all kinds of stuff. I just had a question because specifically we talked about the removal of the trees yesterday, and I just wanted to check with you because he did say that you were out there, and I just wanted to know if they were diseased or, rotten, or if they were healthy trees and what you were going to replace them with.
Right, yeah, I did not request it to be removed. The request came from the engineer that designed the project. So, yeah, but I don't have a specific planting list, but I can generate one if needed for purposes of discussion.
I don't know what she said.
Should finish that up, Kelly. We all garbled right at the very end.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my communications. I said that I don't have the planting list set in stone yet because the exact location, because we can't plant in the same location. So if you need me to get a planting list and the design set up, let me know for the purposes of that discussion.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I just was just for my information. That's all. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything on Coil Street that we need to be updated on?
Work has begun. If you've driven by there, you are aware of that. There's a fence up. And they've brought a bunch of materials in already, and they've started excavating. I don't know that they've hauled their first load off yet, but they will be in the very near future.
Very near future. So they said they were going to replant that as well, with native species.
Correct. Yeah, we are involved. That restoration plan isn't completely set in stone yet, but we were looking at the option to see if we could go that to a floodplain area, as opposed to bringing all that fill back. But that hasn't been. So if we don't do that floodplain option, it'll just be wooded as it is currently.
And Kelly, just on the same area, I noticed that around the pond there at Worcester Pond, they put a trail in. Who was that? Board of Education, or was that?
No, I guess that trail existed a while ago, but it was almost non-existent. So that was like more of a trail replenishment. Although I didn't even know that trail was there. But that was Parks Department that did that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just again. I think it's great. I see a lot of people using it. So again, anytime we get people, on a trail, get them out walking and running, that's really nice. The only concern I had was that the materials seem to be millings, and I just didn't know if there's any problem with leaching from the millings into the water there that's so close to the pond. I see Cassandra shaking your head, so I just
said you should have just left it as dirt. Why did they have to throw millings in there? I just really don't understand. It blows my mind.
So
it came from a town councilor that requested it get replaced, is what I thought. But it was milling. There were millings there before. You just couldn't see them.
I don't know about it. I just know when I rode my bike on it, it had a distinct, oily odor to it. So I just was wondering.
It wasn't this town councilor.
So
it wasn't you. I wasn't saying that it was you, Laura.
No, I know.
No, it was just a point of fact. That's all. Again, it was kind of weird that it wasn't like stone dust or something else. That there was. I know millings are cheap, and I know it's easy to get the millings, and they have this. And they want to get rid. People want to get rid of it, but sometimes people want to get rid of stuff because there's a reason for that.
Right.
Like Raymark would.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a mountain of millings, and that's where that came from, the mountain.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I think we're more concerned about the Raybestos brake linings that are over on Coil Street than the millings on the pathway. But I just was interested in it. That's all. All right. Any other new business? Sorry, Cassandra. I didn't mean to.
No, I love you. You're great. You're doing great. You're making me smile. It's good.
All right. Anything else on new business? Yes, Karen. Oh, yeah.
What's the matter?
My knees.
Sorry. We just need to set up a side meeting for the committee for the food forest, so we can start an investigation. So could we set up a meeting date tonight?
A fruit forest?
The orchard at farm.
Over at Perhala Farm, Laura.
It's the persimmon forest we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, I refer to it as a food forest, but it's for plantings for the public of, whatever would be appropriate and low maintenance.
I would like to have a little bit of just as long as we're not doing it the week of Thanksgiving, I'll say that. And then just per chance next Wednesday night I'm busy, but I can make nights are pretty easy now that it's dark 30. So.
I just have to finish out my Board of Ed time, and then once that's done, so maybe we can do it like after the holiday. I mean, as long as we have something on the calendar.
Right. Yeah, you're not planting till spring anyway, but yeah.
So maybe let's say by next regular meeting, let's try to say 1 or 2 weeks that work the best.
Okay.
And then why don't we do it like the Tuesday before the next meeting? So the first Tuesday of the month, is that the first Tuesday? What day is that?
I would like to kill it before January, because what if I go on vacation while it's winter?
Yeah, so I'm thinking what's the first Tuesday in December?
Yeah, I could do.
What date is that?
It is Tuesday the 7th.
That
My
sound good?
daughter's birthday.
No, I got a zillion
No,
things.
we got a bazillion things.
I don't need to be involved with it, so
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Okay.
And we'll do it at what, 6 p.m.? Someone can make are we doing the Zoom or live somewhere?
Zoom is fine. It's easier for everybody right now. That is my daughter's birthday. She's in New Jersey, so I won't be driving there that day, but I may talk to her.
Okay.
6 o'clock. I'll just make sure I do
Do
that.
it on the
All right,
7th.
so, yeah, that's fine. Okay, all right.
That's
So
good.
what was the date and time on that?
Tuesday, December 7th at 6.
Okay. I'm just putting it in my calendar.
Yeah, me
And
too.
who's going to be on that subcommittee?
Karen, Cassandra, who else? Anybody?
Ellie.
I'll be there probably.
Okay.
You'll get your allotment of persimmons to take home with you after the meeting.
Hey, I'm gonna send you the link on the Grove that the new
Hey,
baby's been there.
You know
for-
what the most expensive coffee on the planet comes from, right? You know where the most expensive coffee on the planet? It comes from coffee beans that are ingested by civets,
Oh,
and
yes.
then they get the coffee beans out of the civet poop, and then they grind it up. It's the most expensive coffee on the planet.
Greg, what's a civet, please? Or
Civet's it's an Asian rat. Or
Now we
mussel.
know what to do with
They're-
it.
we should
They're in
start
South
doing coffee at the beach.
There you go. Coastal rat coffee. I like it.
Oh.
Got a nice panache.
Oh, boy.
Caffeinated rats running amok on the beach. I love it. Okay. All right. Anything else on new business then? Not Two for Tuesdays is calling us. Guys, have a great Thanksgiving and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we'll talk to you in December.
You too.
Okay.
We'll talk to you then.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night, Joe. Take care. Joseph,
Give me a
take care. Have a
motion to
great holiday
adjourn.
with your family.
Greg, you need a
Holiday.
motion to adjourn. Greg, you
Motion
need a
to adjourn.
Karen, motion to adjourn.
Cassandra will
Sandra,
second that.
All right. All in
Thank
favor?
you.
All in
Aye.
Aye.
All right, guys. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.